America and risk your life there and make everyone is okay and it keeps going okay. The country keeps going okay and the disease goes away. Like in our family, we got to really stand up for America. And it's like it's a lot of hard work. Sometimes I just want to be retired. You can't say that when there's parents who have worked twice as long as I. My parents, or my kids' grandparents, who worked twice as hard. So it's like, is there any escape from it? You just get to feel okay when you're not eating a bunch of food that's making you not look as good. And that was your one way to escape having to do their thing all the time. Was my goal of finally having such a ripped, unique, perfect looking body. Better, not perfect, because perfect is wrong. It's a sin. Only God is perfect. And it's like trying to balance all this stuff, like what is good and kind and what makes me feel actually happy. What do I get to feel happy at? Like, it's not allowed to be an Instagram model in my family. It's just not allowed, if you want the truth. You can't even mention Instagram, or else they have so much power and influence and stuff with, working for the military and stuff, that all of a sudden Instagram turns to shit and it's a horrible, evil, satanic thing with every famous person satanic. And what's the point of even doing it? It's like, but then you're allowed to have more money than most everybody, even though you're not even a millionaire and you don't really have that much money compared to any celebrity that's shoved down my face into my face or something, or whatever the heck it is that I have to go through, see hell with my own eyes, and have to go out there saving the world because I didn't sleep for 2 weeks to try to be courageous and military like to make my father happy, to go through a similar thing that he had to go through, going to Vietnam and being terrified because he had just been to a Janis Joplin concert and thought that was the coolest thing in the world, and he just wanted to do that. And instantly his father must have somehow known, or for whatever reason, his father is a big powerful policeman, and he gets thrown in jail. As soon as he makes it home, has to go risk his life in Vietnam and be terrified because he's not going to be some famous person, musician on a stage or something like that. That's what I think. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but that's what I think my dad had to. And then he thinks he has no other choice but to work in the way that he had to, and to be in the military and stand up for America and do all the things that he's had to do. It's almost never appropriate to do music. But then again, I've gotten to do all those music videos and everything, but wasn't allowed to make a living at it on my own. Wasn't allowed to make a living on that on my own, because that would give me independence to then treat my parents, or be however I felt like to my parents, which I think they were afraid that then I'd turn my back on them and wouldn't be as kind and respectful to them. So they tried to corner and trap me financially. So there's only so far I could go, no matter how hard I worked and suffered. Which I hate to say, that's not really what they wanted to do to me. They just wanted me to be good in the ways that they thought were good, or they still want me to do that. I don't want them to die from COVID. I love them very much. I don't want anyone I know to die, but people are gonna die. People are gonna die from COVID. And I guess I have it pretty good, because no matter how hard I've worked and tried to make a living at film and entertainment, it's like I had to emotionally support the mother of my children and my oldest son, and my younger son a little bit too. But really all the effort when we just had one kid was into Rowan, really supporting him to be the biggest, best superstar we could. And for her, and for me, but she never wanted me to do it. She never believed in me. She never believed in most of my films. She believed in me to look attractive. For once, I felt happy about my appearance and the way that I looked because of her, because she believed in me to feel okay. But she just wanted all my hard work in life to be for my children and her, and very little for me, unless it was like looking cool and good, like actually getting to feel confident about my looks for once, which I didn't have before I met her. I was so insecure. I didn't have confidence in my appearance. I didn't understand how to have confidence in my parents unless I was drunk or something like that. Um, that's how it felt growing up. Um, Unless I was a very small, a much younger child, you know, in one of the schools I went to, I'm not going to say, a lot of the kids there would get drunk and do weed. They'd call it smoke. But I don't like that garbage anymore. It's useless. It's like bad for you. Weed's bad for the brain. Alcohol is bad for the physical body. So I don't do either one of those, and I don't want to. I don't care if I do them or not. She never did alcohol or weed or partied. That's why when I met her when I was in Los Angeles, I never once smoked weed the entire time I was out there living in Los Angeles. Never once partied. Never. Towards the end of it, I was living next to a freeway and could hear the cars going by and everyone's voice. I could hear them mumble through the walls, these thin walls, and it was like so annoying and some slight pollution from the road. And I was like, I just want to live at a house with the neighbors further away and in the woods and get to finally have it clean air and a real house where I can play my drums again. I couldn't really play drums when I was in LA. I did at one time. I played in a few bands, but it was like it wasn't that great until I met her out there. She was the person who made me feel okay and happy again in Los Angeles. Wasn't that great. I never partied. Never got to party like I thought I would. Never got to go to the Comedy Store and be a famous comedian and actor and party all the time like I thought would happen. Instead, I just went to school, did what my parents said, worked at school, felt insecure, saw all the other kids enjoying it when I was like having to work at school and drive a crappy minivan with the windows broken out and look crazy, the minivan, and like just uncool and stupid, and just had to keep doing work for school. And then I met her, and then everything was like okay. And then the whole time I was in LA, instead of being a rock star, instead of being a famous person, like was the whole escape from the suffering that I had growing up with everyone looking down on me at one point, which wasn't that bad. Sometimes it was enjoyable. I had plenty of friends and stuff. It was pretty normal, I guess. It wasn't as bad as I thought. But then maybe I'm looking at all the bad side of it or something. It's like that I'm supposed to be happy just because I'm a little better than average with money. And that's all that I'm allowed to do. And I can feel big and powerful like the biggest, most powerful tourist who's strong, but not allowed to have real abs and be ripped in my body. Because if you say the word ripped, that's an older person who I'm supposed to stand up for having a ripped body or tendon or something wrong with them because they're older, and I have to look older and have a fat neck and try to act like there's something like, oh, I'm imperfect because I love Jesus, and always be kind to everybody. And there's like almost no escape that I've been able to find, no matter how hard I worked, how hard I tried, because it's like I have to do things a certain way to be kind to the people in my life. And it's like, could I just make $20,000 fucking dollars a year, fucking $20,000 a year at my real work and film and music and the things I enjoy, or videos, or actually, instead of working so incredibly hard at manual hard labor fixing up this house all the time, and then being so exhausted that all I could do was lay there and eat food and rest for like sometimes months, because I had been working for a year and a half, like at 2 full-time jobs, and just rest for months. And then someone expects that's my best work in the videos that I like. Oh, you have to do your best work, which is 10 times the average filmmaker, because I know how to do all the post-production and editing and work. Like to almost be fucking the actor who played Sid Vicious, as evil as he's probably going to turn into a fucking demon and go into the earth and kill me for saying that right now or something, because he's this big powerful person or something. because I'm afraid to say that I really would just want to be the Sid Vicious, almost because I don't want to, and I know that's a horrible role model because he killed himself and he had no talent anyway. He kind of played a few little shit things that I can do a million times better than that because I had to work that hard all my fucking life. Fucking dead. Anyway, it's like, is there any escape from it? Is there any escape from it? Do I ever get to rest? Or is it just resting from working at supporting all these other fucking people who have a fucking saggy neck or some fucking thing that makes me feel bad? Oh, am I fat enough for them? Am I fucking fat enough for them? It sucks. So they can be alive and then I have to cry or something because I'm worried they're going to die. Because I don't want them to die because I love them very much. It's like, do my films actually get seen and make the money back in the way that I wanted to be a real filmmaker who makes a living at my work? Why is that not allowed? I don't get why that would not be allowed. My face looks good enough, whatever the fuck. Can I retire and finally be away from everyone and not have to do it anymore and just not have to work at those things anymore? Like last year, I had to work so hard till I could barely fucking breathe. And I had to take medicine so I could be able to breathe again. And then this year, like, I got a few weeks off just because if I had kept working, I could have died. The first 2 weeks, if I had kept working and I kept trying to work, and I figured out this is not getting better, I had to stop working and calm down. And then with COVID out there, when I could barely fucking breathe in December from working so hard all year at this manual labor of a physically larger house that I had to do all the work my fucking self, you know, I'd like to take this laptop and crush it and shoot myself in the head with a fake dart shit thing that like sticks on the side of my head and falls off and doesn't hurt me. I'm so pissed off. I'm tired of it. Because the police officers are watching this to make sure that if you ever film a video in Roanoke County, we'll make sure to threaten you with jail. So you better keep in your house and keep it small. Only the most 110 views for video. If you actually try to make a living at it, we'll shut you down. And guess what? It's not even the police doing it. It's your father. Because he's gotta have millions of dollars, and that's okay. Because that's good, because he really actually worked like 4 jobs at the same time his whole life, constantly trying to work at things his whole fucking life. And then I'm, no matter how hard I work at it, I'm not really allowed to be free from being kind to him, because there are 64 million millionaires in the whole world, or on the whole world, and you can't say in the whole world because that's in hell. You always have to be kind and nice. And my actual work on my films, my music videos and stuff, got like a few hundred views unless I paid to promote it and get it seen, which is a very small amount. I paid for like 100,000 or 200,000 views on my whole channel. The rest of it was all just hard work, and some of it happened to get big, which was probably because I collaborated with other people who were allowed to take the spotlight instead of me, because my parents put a fucking shirt on me to cover up my body, so I couldn't feel happy about the way my body looked, couldn't feel happy about having sex with anyone, couldn't even get an orgasm with a woman because I felt so insecure about my body until I met the woman who I was married to, because I'm supposed to be kind and Jesus-y and nice. While other kids were just having sex, partying, getting wasted, and feeling good in school. And I didn't do any of that in junior high. I never smoked cigarettes. I may have smoked one cigarette. One time I got so scared and threw it down. I never drank, never did alcohol, never smoked weed when I was in junior high. Then the kids in high school tried to get me. It's like I'm tired of it. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just relax from how bad it sucks? From only making the most a few $100s a month on YouTube. Oh, that's better than, I've been at it since 1987. I was making films of me in costume in 1987. I moved out to Los Angeles in Los Angeles by myself when I was a teenager and lived at the poverty level with a Mexican prostitute sleeping on the ground that I had to let stay there. And I hadn't had sex with anyone, and I wouldn't have sex with a fucking person unless, especially some ugly Spaniard looking, like dark hair, like dirty, older woman when I was like, when I was like, I'm sorry, when I was like 19 out there, and I was, and some Mexican prostitute was knocking on my poor hotel room where I couldn't let anyone see the way I looked, to have roommates because they had humiliated every inch of my body, and I was trying to save money by staying in a $25 a night hotel as a teenager, having to go through something like that so I could be normal, like the other kids got to feel okay and normal. Because I was so insecure about my body type for trying to grow long hair like Jim Morrison, but my dad made me feel like I was like, it's not military, it's not big and American and manly enough as soon as I'm 17 or 18. So anything I tried to do with looking like a young man, but it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He just likes that stuff or was forced into it, and he doesn't really like it either. He was born on a farm, and I don't want to say where, but from a different family, and he was adopted into a powerful big American family who were nice and good, and that stuff is really good and it helps others. When you have more money and stuff, it doesn't mean that you're bad. And I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. Like, spent all day yesterday and today, instead of working out and feeling my best and happiest so I won't die of fucking COVID when I could barely breathe in December, to make sure that I won't die, like actually working out my best, instead of always working out and getting to do whatever the fuck I feel like and having my videos take off and all those movies I did, paying my bills or being retired from it after doing it for 20 years. Instead, I'm worrying about this house and how to do this whole house for my dad that he doesn't really want me to have. Like, I'm trying to figure out, because it's like someone else's house who he knows that he put it in her name, and I have to do all the work on it or not, and figure it out. I finally figured out a way to do it really cheap that you don't really need a building permit to do, and I figured it all out and talked to him about it, and instead of working out and being in my best shape and looking like an Instagram model, which has never happened. I've never gotten to make a living. It was never encouraged to make a living at it on my own, because I guess I wasn't trusted to be financially independent unless I supported their agenda for their... It's not an agenda. I love them very much. It's like, they're better than you to me for how much I love them. Okay? So don't attack them because you're jealous. Whoever's out there. And I'm tired of it. Maybe you're supporting me or maybe you're not supporting me, but I'm tired of people being jealous because my dad has like however much money and I have however much money, and there are all these fucking poor people who want to kill me and see me dead. That's how much others care about me. And they want me to attack my parents and say it's not good enough because they love to have a piece at trying to hurt us in some way. And that's how much people fucking care about me, who are kind of like acquaintances and stuff generally, unless they're good and kind, but they're all kind of like so pissed off and fucking tired of this. Tired of it. Tired of it. I'm just going to turn this video off and delete it. I don't give a fuck. Do I sound like a Yankee? Is that not allowed? It's like, can I just be in California and have been the superstar that I plan to be, like smoking weed and being a rock star and doing whatever the fuck I felt like Jim Morrison, and then get to have a family, then get to have my family and support whatever evil, killing people, stabbing them in the head with a fake little knife that goes into the handle, crazy ass shit so they can kill people overseas for the big American values that I don't really get, and I would have liked to be dead already and have been Jim Morrison in my own way and be a stand-up comedian and all the cool things that I thought were so cool, but have gotten to have kids and a family too, or get moved to Canada or something. It's like, I'm so tired of it, and they're okay, I'm pressured to go out there and risk my life to die when I could barely breathe in December to support, be courageous and be an army-like person. And they probably want me to be dead for saying this. And my sister has to be deployed and fight overseas or something like that. She not only is in COVID at Virginia Beach, but she has to be deployed, my older sister, and go fight overseas because my dad thinks that maybe for some reason he has like some connection to the military somehow. Because when I screamed at him over the phone and called him a little man one time, these huge giant military helicopters flew right over my head and like terrifying me in a black cloud surrounded about 200 feet exactly around the house that I was staying in. And I had to go inside and be terrified, thinking people, I heard footsteps on the roof of like some strange craft jump on the roof or something, because he was just trying to freak me out with the relationship I have with him or make me worry. And it's like, how do I ever get away from that? And it's like I had to act in those big military people who literally was doing evil, a necessary evil to hurt people. Like, for some reason that's for the greater good. I don't get it, and I don't get the military, why they shoot innocent people, and I don't get why they kill people. And guess what? I'd rather be in Canada. I'd rather be in Canada than be shooting innocent people in the head and causing people to die. And I believe in peace and love. And I'm sorry if I said anything to anyone out there who I thought was like, think it's fun. It's like some people think, I was maybe just talking to someone else, some people think it's so funny if I attack my dad or something and we hurt each other. But it's like, you know, can I just go to the other side yet? I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it. Spent the last 24 hours figuring out how to do all this work to this house. Supposed to meet someone right now, and then he changed it to tomorrow, this contractor. So I'm expected to go there and tear down all this rotten wood on this thing that it's up to my responsibility to not get a permit for it and do it all my fucking self, and then put up wood that like I have to be sure to do it the proper way. It's some shit that I don't give a fuck about, that I never cared about, and I never enjoyed in any way at all. And that's how I feel about it. And I like music, art, film, love, kindness, non-sexual love, kindness to others. And I don't get why I have to, I don't get why I have to be a part of it. I'd rather be on the other side right now with my family, or here on earth with my family, with my wife and kids. And I don't get why I keep having to be nice to my parents. Maybe they're about to die from COVID. I don't know. I hope not. That's sad, or I'm supposed to cry about that, or be sad, or whatever the fuck it is. Fucking tired of it. I don't give a fuck. Like acting like a Sid Vicious that doesn't care if I'm dead, but I care if I'm dead. I'm so tired of all of it. And there's probably a cop watching right now who they want to kill me and send me out into the world to be dead. When my grandfather was the biggest cop on earth. My grandfather was the chief of the NYPD. And I'm an artist and expected to like genuinely have like pussy colored things that they call pussy colored, like a gay rainbow colors with a black person in the middle, and pink behind it. And I'm supposed to stand up for the right wing stuff so much and do it just right that it's like I'm just tired of it. And they're sending my sister overseas to fight in some war in the middle of COVID. Like that's how she gets to enjoy being on earth, risking her life with a disease that she could, not just a disease that she could die from, but having to go overseas. And it's not, I don't know if that's good enough for my father, because she got to celebrate and enjoy this like amazing 2 weeks. She was just doing like, she was being with her husband and being at the beach, and it was warm weather, and they're in love and being close and stuff like that for like 2 weeks, I think, but I'm not sure. I'm not really allowed to say. And my parents are watching their daughter, who was not allowed to go to school. So then she has to go fight overseas in COVID, risk her life and risk being out there a bunch, because it's like standing up for whatever the fuck it is. Okay, great. I'm gonna turn the video off. And then like, I can't even sell all this money in this house, but my dad makes it so that I have no way to get the money, and it's all in this house, and this is my only way to get my family back. But he's not really trying to do it, and I'd have to sell the house and get the fuck away from everyone. But I know that's evil and wrong because you're supposed to be kind to others for whatever weird beliefs that they wipe their own asshole with because they're gay or whatever the fuck strange ass weird different thing that they like. You have to eat Wheaties because it stands up for this right or left wing thing, and then I have to be nice to them for it. And like, why the fuck would somebody even like shit? It doesn't make any sense because I have this friend who likes shit. Because when he was a baby, he got crap on himself when his parents were together. When his parents were together, when he was a baby, they were together and everything was happy. And his parents got a divorce when he was still crapping in his pants. So he associates crap with like the times that were free and he could crap on things and stuff. And I don't get it. And he thinks it's so funny, like talking about crap and feces, stuff like that. But it's just, I don't know. And I haven't talked to him as much. And it's like everyone looks like they're like an evil. Like I go on Instagram, which I'm not allowed to let my parents know that I'm on any social media because they know about my YouTube, but they like that because it's only getting like 100 something views a video. Keep him down, so then he has to do what we say because they don't even know they're doing it because God's doing it. So I keep being kind to other people for whatever thing that I don't understand why, and it's like can I just be retired or like in heaven or something or dead? Because then I'm gonna have to keep trying to look good the rest of my whole life, and I don't know if that's right or wrong to do. And I didn't get to be famous when I was young, which is bad now. It's supposed to be wrong now. And any famous person I look like looks like they're going to hell. They probably do the little devil horns or do some satanic sign or something like that because that's how they found that they get to do whatever they feel like. Or and it's wrong, probably gonna be hurt for it or suffer. And like all the ones who are genuinely good and kind, it's like I don't know if they can ever get to the other side if they're rich, if they keep all that much for themselves in that selfish way. And I don't even have that much. I'm not rich, I know that for sure. You need like 2.8 to be considered rich, and I think that's not even really rich. And everyone else thinks that I have so much money, and it feels just as bad or good. It feels just the same. And I get to feel good for about a day, about 2 days, a couple days ago, because I was eating a bunch of crackers, and it was godly. It was nice. It was the right thing to do. And I got to eat a bunch of crackers with peanut butter on it and some butter, and I ate them for like 2 days. I laid in bed and I didn't have too much to not die of coronavirus, and it was like my one enjoyment that I got to do. And I looked up the second coming of Jesus, to when Jesus would finally come down to earth and get rid of all our suffering. It wouldn't suck anymore. And that was my one way to feel happy. Then I start filming myself from a low angle that films my body with my stomach looking bigger because I was kind to my parents and these other people. Somebody else had like a big stomach in the family who's older than me. So it's like I had to do that, even though with all my might, that was my only one way to get away from having to do what they say all the time, was to have a perfect body and look like an Instagram model who's actually healthy and gets to be like an actor and all this stuff, which I don't know if it's the right way to do things or not, but apparently never been allowed to really make much money at it. Danica got to take all that for herself because I kept believing in her and kept believing in her and kept believing in her. She never believed in me to be famous or to make a living at it. She just thought, maybe she thought I would use it to be with other women or something. So she didn't want me to have much of an ego. She wanted me to work and work and work to support her and the kids. But then I did mess up, and I was with younger women, I had a problem with it for a while because I had never gotten to have an orgasm with anyone but her my whole life until I was like 37. So I didn't know what it was like to have an orgasm and be confident around other women. So I had a problem where I went to very young women, like as young as possible, almost, to where it's like it was something where she couldn't be after her making workhorse and having to work all the fucking time and never get to feel good. And like she'd sit down, like every time we'd clean the house, cleaning, she'd sit down on the computer and I'd be cleaning, and um, like it wasn't that bad, but I had some problem where I started looking very young women. It was pretty bad. It was a sin, and then I had to suffer years and years without anyone, and I still had the problem, like most of 10 years without anyone, and I would mess up here and there, and like I waited 3.5 years for her, and I'd try to be with her, and she just didn't want to be with me, so I'd go for like some young woman or something like that, and it was a mistake. But I suffered for with no one for about, I don't know, 8 years. 8 years, and this time I almost died from trying to fix this whole house up for her. 3 or 4 times last year, it felt like I was gonna die. Working so hard and trying to make sure the kids are okay all the time, and never even got sexually excited about any other woman for more than a year, well more than a year now. Like every time I got sexually aroused or excited, I'm not going to say it was her, but there's one woman who she doesn't want me to say who it is, and I only imagined it was her. Every time that I got excited about a woman, I pretended it was her. And when it was always on a computer, never had sex in real life for more than a year, going on 2 years now, imagined it was her. But I did mess up before that, and then I had to suffer thinking about, oh, I was with this woman or something, and I was wrong. But then she was like supposed to be with some guy that she made it, some random guy who I think gave her baby COVID, but I'm not sure. I think literally gave the baby they had together COVID when he left, and she was in a bed with sweat. After she got up from the bed, it was like indented with sweat, covered in sweat, and I thought she was gonna die. And I care about her way more than her technical real father cares, but he doesn't care. He just goes